Schedule prediction season. Shows no mercy. Just a faceless opponent every single time it laces it up. And we got Miami stepping into the batter's box today. Miami Hurricanes, what is their record going to be in 2023? What are we predicting their record to be? Because Mario Cristobal, I don't know there's a lot of people that are indifferent about him. I think everybody has some sort of opinion about what he's going to do at Miami. Wasn't great last year. But the good news for Miami fans is Mario Cristobal does not endorse what happened last year. It was a, year one, let's get this thing rolling. But there was also high expectations with Tyler Van Dyke being your quarterback last year, and it just did not pan out offensively. So where do we start with Miami? Personally, I feel like you have a way better setup than you did a season ago. Year one was a lot of growing pains, and you kind of got to get the bad out to eventually build for the good. Like when I look at Miami, this roster is just so much better, especially on the offensive line. Francis Mauigoa, probably going to start for them at tackle. Javion Cohen, Matt Lee, 2 adds through the transfer portal that are probably going to be NFL guys. You got better on the offensive line. And you did not protect Tyler Van Dyke well. That's why he was dinged up. Could not run the football. So Tyler Van Dyke's kind of your only asset offensively. It was just a non-starter last year for Miami, which is unfortunate because I don't think it needed to be last year. But personnel-wise, you're way better. You feel way better about what's going to happen this coming season. And then also your culture. I mean, culture is kind of a cliche thing to talk about, but it's cliche for a reason because it's real. And Mario Cristobal is bringing good culture to Miami. The way that I look at it, last year for Miami, they were just not strong in the muscles as a team they needed to be strong in. And when I say that, I mean roster and I mean discipline. And you look at last year, and it's unfortunate how it all shook out for Miami. But the good news is you get to the reset button offensively and get a new scheme in there. But with those muscles that you're building, you had to get sore before you can start to grow. Like, y'all understand this too. Every single January, every single February, it's the New Year's resolution. Let's get in the gym. Let's get after it. After those first couple workout sessions, you're sore now. You broke down some muscle. You don't feel 100%. It's like, man, is this a good idea? Is this healthy for me? Am I supposed to feel this way? And the people that you talk to that have been going to the gym for a while, they tell you what? Hey, keep going. Keep pushing through it. You're sore right now, but eventually that muscle is going to start to grow. Those muscles are going to start to grow at Miami, in my opinion. The culture wasn't great. Evidently, look at what they did on the field last year. The culture, I don't believe, was good enough a season ago. The roster wasn't good enough a season ago. So what do? You hit the portal. You develop a new offense. You bring in a new OC. And you keep hammering away at your culture to get that soreness to turn to muscle. So I'm excited for Miami. But let's take a look at the schedule for them this coming season. The big game you circle is Texas A&M at home early. To me, this is the progress game. This is a great litmus test. I think Miami really could have won this game a year ago at College Station. They didn't, so woulda, shoulda, coulda. But outside of A&M, outside of tracking that progress right there, it'll be a good litmus test early in the year. You have road tests at North Carolina, at NC State, and at Florida State. NC State and Florida State are back-to-back, so that'll be tricky. But you got home tough games against Clemson and against Louisville. Louisville's sneaky. For Miami, I really believe that 6 wins is the floor. I think at the very least you improve and you make a bowl game. I don't think you have the personnel last year that you do this year. And I think that translates to at least a 1-win improvement. Now, here's the good news. When I look at Miami, I don't think they're at a place where they're just relying solely on the roster. You can have talent. Talent's great. I already told you, I think talent improves them from what they were a year ago, but talent isn't what wins you ball games. It's talent married with the way you do things. And when I say the way you do things, that means scheme, that means discipline, that means culture. There's that culture word again. Those are all things that propel your talent and capitalize on your talent and get the most out of that talent, get the most out of that roster. And so for Miami, the prediction for me for them in 2023 is a record of 8-4. So it's right in line with what Vegas thinks. Again, there's some tricky games on that schedule, but I think 8-4 is realistic. And I also think that Tyler Van Dyke goes back to what we saw him being in 2021. That's what this whole thing is built on. Is Tyler Van Dyke the version that we expect him to be? Because Gary Furman came on this very show from CaneSport and told us, yeah, Bama wanted Tyler Van Dyke. or at least Tyler Van Dyke and Bama. There was some flirtation there. So that's what Gary Furman says, and I believe him. Tyler Van Dyke and the defense doing their job and stepping up on the outside, if they have someone step up on the outside at the wide receiver position, along with the defense, along with Tyler Van Dyke, if those three things can kind of merge together and they can really be effective, those things are going to compound on each other and complement each other, and Miami's going to do better than 8-4. So those are the big question marks. Does the wide receiver room step up? Does Tyler Van Dyke continue what he did in 21 and kind of get past the 2022 hiccup with this new offense under Shannon Dawson? And does the defense hold up their end of the deal? If they do, watch out for Miami in the ACC. But again, our prediction for them in 2023, 8-4 for the Canes. Not a bad year, too, for company under Mario Cristobal. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.